Welcome back to the channel, y'all. As you may have seen in some of our previous videos, we've been doing some work here on this golf cart, putting a bunch of accessories on it, kind of making it what we want it to be. We'll eventually get to painting it when we figure what we want to do for that. But right now, some more accessories came in we're going to be putting on today. That's the focus of this video. The first thing we got is the back handle for the back seat. If you've seen one of our previous videos, if you haven't, check that out. We'll leave links down below. We put the GTW rear seat kit on this golf cart. So this is the GTW deluxe grab bar for the back of that seat. It's an easy bolt on because it uses the holes that are already in there. It's made for it. That's going to be an awesome upgrade for the people riding on the back. It's a little safer. Also, we have the front bumper that we're going to put on it. This is one of the Jake's front bumpers. We picked black because our theme is the green and black. So this is an easy bolt on too. You unbolt your front one, bolt on this bracket, and then this goes on. That's going to be fun to do. Like we said in our previous video, the mirrors that we have on here, kind of the older style, so we wanted to upgrade a little bit, so these look like little truck mirrors, kind of like those. Those are going on here today. We also have the rear seat armrest. These are the NoKins. We're going to put those on here so they flip in and out, makes it more comfortable for the people riding back here. They got cup holders in it. And these are the diamond stitched ones that we got, kind of like our seat covers we did in the previous video. We couldn't find one with a green stitch, but we're going to try to use like a green marker or paint pen or something to try to get them green if we can. We'll try it. If not, it's all right. It's a tan color, which matches the roof for now. So, and then we have one other thing, which is the electric battery gauge we're going to put in the dash, because this doesn't have one. It just has the light that lets you know that you're getting low. We want the gauge. So we do have that also. We're going to put that in today. But first thing we're going to do is put that front bumper on. We'll work from front to back here. And then the last thing we'll do is probably this grab handle. But let's get this put on. We'll show you, we'll get you closer, show you what we're gonna need to put this on. There's only a few hand tools you're gonna need, and then we'll get that going. So let's go over here and show you what we got. All right, now here's what we're gonna need just to put this bumper on. You're gonna need a large Phillips, because that's what the original bumper's put on with. You're gonna need a 7/16 wrench, a 9/16 wrench, 11 millimeter, I think that's 11 millimeter, 11 millimeter socket. And then you're going to need, what is this one, T25? No, 7/32 Allen, because that's what the new bolts are for putting those on. So that's all you're going to need to put this one on. So let's get to the front of this thing and mount this baby. All right, first thing we're going to do is take the original bumper off. There's two Phillips screws in the holes there. They're large ones. If you have the bit for your drill, it might be faster, but we don't have it near us, so we're just using the hand one. We're going to screw these out, take that front bumper off, and then we'll show you what's underneath, which allows us to mount this bracket on there. All right, remember, as you're taking this off, on the back there are lock nuts. I believe they're 13 millimeter, ½ inch or so. So you might need that because they are lock nuts. When you're spinning these, chances are it's going to spin. So just put a ratchet on the back with a socket. You're going to need an extension because it sits back in there a little. That's what we got on this one. We got Nick here on the job. So we'll continue taking these off. Remember, Phillips on the front, ½ inch on the back with an extension. And then these two will let this bumper come off. So we're going to continue taking this off, and then we'll get to the next step. All right, we're on to the last one here. To get them off, this is what they look like. You can see you got your lock nut and then your Phillips screw. So that's it. The front bumper is off, and you can see it's going to have these little panel clips. We're going to have to move those because the bracket slips in between these. So we're going to pop these up. If you have a panel popper, it works good. If not, a small screwdriver, you can see the little slit there. You could pop it in and pop those up. That's what we're going to use, and then we're going to get those popped. That's our next step. All right, guys, we got those panel poppers out. Next, we got to put on this bracket right here. We're just going to put it on top and sandwich this plastic body mount piece in between this metal and the metal underneath. The directions say to use the stock bolts, but it did come with some nice stainless bolts. If you want to use these, you can, but the holes here are smaller, so you'll have to ream those out a little bit, drill it up to the next size, then you can use the nice stainless bolts. We're going to do that later, but for the sake of this video, we're going to use the stock bolts because the stock bolts fit in that location. Then we'll drill these out later, but definitely drill that out, put the stainless ones in. These ones aren't. So we're going to get doing that. We're going to mount this bracket up here. got this, just line up a hole. If you guys can see that, we got the sun on us here. Just line one up in the hole. Trying to line up all the pieces. There you go, and do that on this side also, and then tighten those down. Then we can mount the bumper to these stubs here, and that'll be it for that, pretty much. So let's get those in. All right, guys, we got this mounted and tightened down. Now this here, we're gonna put the bumper slides onto these stubs. Go ahead. It slides in there. You can see you line, there's holes you line up in there, right about there. What we noticed though is this sticks out quite a ways. I'm not understanding what the deal is with that. So what we want to do is push it all the way in until it bottoms out. It makes it go in at least 2-3 inches more, which I think looks better. That's what we're going to go with. And then we're going to drill new holes here in this bracket, so the bumper can stay in that depth. So we're going to go get some drill bits, drill this out so it can be inward. I don't know why you would want it out so far. It just seems so weak that way. But it definitely looks better in like that. So let's get these holes drilled out and we'll mount this up. You guys, before I do that, if you guys want to leave it hanging out, you can. I mean, that's how they designed it. It just, to me, it looks weird sticking out that far. Maybe it's because I'm not lifted and don't have big tires. I don't know. Maybe that's it. But for me, I'm going to put it in. But later, if I lift it or anything, I can pull it back out to the original holes. But this is going to be great for us. So let's go. All right, guys, we're just finishing up drilling that last hole all the way through. We just shoved it in as far as we wanted it, marked it with a Sharpie in case we want to do it outside, but this way it just helps us keep the drill bit centered. We went through the outside and then used this for the inside. The angle tool works awesome, lets us get in here at an angle. And then we just ran it through the outside to clean the hole out. It's in there now. We're going to go put, these are the bolts that came with it. Hope you guys can see that. These are the bolts that came with it. It should go right in there. Well, here, we'll let him do it. Should line up right in the hole. There you go. We're going to do the same on the other one. We're going to put that bolt through, tighten those down, and then this is good. Another thing I'll probably adjust later also is there's a gap between the bracket that they provide and this part of the golf cart. I mean, that's a good inch. So when you push down on this bumper, it pushes, it like has some room to move there. That's weird. So I might put like a rubber stop or something in behind here in that hole that's already there, just to take up that gap so the bumper's more robust on a downward, because you know somebody's going to try stepping on that bumper and it's going to bend it down. So I'll probably do that later too, but for the sake of this video, this is pretty much mounted. We're just going to tighten those down and this bumper's done. We'll go on to the next thing. So let's get that done. All right, as you guys can see, that is all mounted on there. And while we had the drill out doing those, we also drilled those holes out a little bit to put the stainless bolts in it that came with the kit. So it looks a lot better shoved in there. It's still out further than I think it should be. But like I said, if you had this jacked up and had the bigger tires, the tires would probably come forward more, which would look better with the bumper. So more future stuff, but looks better than the original. On to the next thing, which if we're moving our way back, will probably be the mirrors. We're going to put the mirrors on, get rid of those old round ones that you see in there. We're going to put those other ones on to look pretty cool like a truck. So let's get on to that one. All right, guys, we are on to doing the mirrors. That's self-explanatory pretty much. It's one screw holding these round ones on. The new ones are going to mount, on this side of it, not the inside. That way it'll allow us to swing it in if we want to roll down the cover. So that's it for that. We're going to put the new ones at about the same height because that works perfect there. And like I said, we're just going to come around to here. The new mirrors has 2 holes. We're just going to put those in. They're self-tapping screws. So they're just going to mount into there. We'll show you how that looks when we're done with it. All right, guys, we put the mirror up here, marked our holes. You can see we marked them with Sharpie. Now we're just going to drill them out with these self-tapping screws now before we put the mirror on, because the mirror is plastic. We don't want to go drilling on it. Them holes are good. Now we can put our mirror up there. Like I said, they're made for the outside when they show it to you, but we have the enclosure which has the Velcro on the outside, so we can't put it there. But putting it here, it still gives us plenty of adjustment for what we need. So that's what we're doing. It comes with multiple ways to mount it. There's also some clamps they give you if you want to just clamp it around the bar. That's up to you. But this is how we're going to mount ours. I need a screwdriver because ours won't fit. Wow. Okay, I'll start that one. All right, finishing up this last side. We got the holes pre-drilled. We're getting these screws in here. So I said it's nicer to do it with the mirror off because it is plastic mirror. You don't want to get that plastic crack or anything trying to drill the hole. Like I said, this does come with multiple mounting solutions. You have this way. There's also, they give you clamps if you want to just clamp around here. You could do that. Like I said, it's made to go to the outside. We put it on the inside, but it gives us enough adjustment. That's why these look at an angle. It's because they're for the outside, but they'd look a whole lot better than them other ones, don't you think? So we got those in. We used our own self-tapping stainless screws. It came with some screws, but they weren't stainless. We try to use stainless when we can. Otherwise, they'll turn out like these ones and get all rusty looking. So we try to use stainless. And there you go. And on the bottom here, there's a nut. You could tighten that nut, and that'll help make this a little tighter so it don't move around so much. Because these are pretty floppy, so I'll probably tighten them a little so that when you're bouncing around, they don't adjust. So those are in and installed. We're going to go back to the back where we have the armrest for the back seat and also that grab bar. So let's go back there and do those. All right, guys, we are onto the back of the seat thing. We're going to be putting on these armrests. As you can see, it's got the diamond stitch. It's got like the tan copperish color stitching, which is fine because it kind of matches some of the stuff, but we're going to try to get it a green color at some point. This kit's very complete kit. You have the caps, you have all the hardware, you have the brackets. They even include the tools you're going to need to do this job, so you won't even need to get any of your own tools. The first thing you want to do when you're deciding to put these on is which way you want them to be. Do you want them with the cup holder out this way so they flip up like this when you're not using them, or when you need to get them out of the way? Or do you want them to sit inside where it comes into your seating space a little bit? Which way do you prefer? You can pick either one. We like the one where it's going to be outside because it's skinny enough for two people as it is. And then when we need to put it in a truck or something, we can just flip it in. So that's how we're going to mount it. And it comes with a very good instructions. They're nice colored instructions. You can see them there. Tells you what to do. We just flip this over. You're going to get your bracket like this, and you're going to mount them right there. And there's two of them, one here, and it comes with all the hardware you're going to need right here. You just pick out the hardware. There's two for each one for the sides. These are for the brackets that hold it to the arm, but that's the four you're going to need right there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to mount these on here. Let's see, we'll get one going for you guys so you can see it. They are tapered. You can see the tapered hole that will fit in the tapered end, so you don't need the washer here. And these are threaded inserts into these arms, so they're going into those. That's nice. Like that. Then we'll get the other one. Do the same thing. Make sure you dry place them on here before you do it so you know which way your hinges are working. We're going to do this to both arms on both sides. Mount these brackets. Then we'll mount the brackets on there. So keep those going. I'll show you how these are going to work once they're on there. This is going to be on here like this on the arm. So when you want to use it, you can see they just clamp right on. The bolts are going to go through here to hold them on. But then when you're using it, it's going to sit out like that. Got your beverages right there. When you need this out of the way, you just flip them up. I mean, they go all the way that way if you need them to. But it's pretty cool. So that's how you do it. We're going to do the same thing the other side. And then these bolts here are going to go all the way through to clamp these onto your bar. They'll go all the way through. Just mount those on. You're good to go. So another thing you might want to do is sit in here, sit on your seat, and find out how far forward or back you want these, because they'll slide along this bar. Because we could slide them back to here if we want. That way, you know, it's right at the arm's length, where if you're sitting there, it's right there. So we're probably going to do that before we tighten these down, and then we'll move on to that back grab bar. But I think it's pretty awesome. So on to the next one. All right, guys, this is the way we wanted it. We sat here. As far forward works the best, but remember, it bulges here on the outside, so you can only come up so far. This is the way we wanted it, but we ran into an issue. When we tried to bring the seat down, like flip it down into the work or the storage type thing, it hits these brackets. There's just not enough room. When the seat swings up, it hits these. So we're unable to have it this way, which sucks because it looks so much better. So we have to do it this way. Like this. And then when you need to flip that seat down, you just go like this and it's out of your way. We have to do it that way. Not that I want to, but it is what it is. So we're going to get on and put these bolts in here. Let me show you how these go in. You can see you got your bolt holes right here on the inside, or on, yeah, right underneath. You have your NoKins caps. They're going to go under here when you put the bolts through, so don't forget to put those on. I mean, they help beauty it up a little bit too. Blocks the bolts. We're going to put them down through, pan head first, just like that. So you'll put them in like this, all the way through to the bottom, and then you're going to put a washer, one of these washers, one of these lock nuts on the bottom. There's 4 on each arm, so we're going to go around and do that, tighten those down, and we'll show you what it looks like after we're done. All right, guys, how's it look? Not quite the way we wanted it, but they fit in there nice. Move those out of your way. Like I said, we liked them out there. If you get a big guy on there, you know, you could probably just flip your cup holder around like that, right? It would work. I like that idea. But for right now, that is that. Now we're going to go on to the grab bar for the back. So when you get those people, get a little tipsy or whatever's happening on your cart, I don't know. Keep your cart business to yourself. But this handlebar or this bar will give them something to grab onto if somebody's taking off fast or something. And like I said, this is the GTW Deluxe grab bar. They do have just a regular smaller one that's not the Deluxe. You can get that. It's a little, well, if you look at most places, they're a little cheaper. I happen to find this one a little bit cheaper than the smaller one. So got a good deal on it. I'm going to put this one on. So let's go at this. This one seems pretty easy too. I don't want to say too easy because every time I say that, something comes up. But see what we got in the box. Again, colored instructions helps you out there. There ain't much to this thing, so there it is, done, guys. See you later. It's pretty much like that. You can see you got the 2 holes in the bottom, which will mount through the holes here, and then there's 2 holes you guys can see right here, which will mount in the back on that plate back there. You'll see them when you're down there, and that's how that's mounting. And then up top here, you can unwrap that when you're done. This has the rubber, well, yeah, it's kind of a rubber place to put your hand. That's what makes this one deluxe. A little wider, a little softer hand grip. So we're going to get something to put our knees on because this is rocks. And then the bolts are included too. They're right here. We're going to get those mounted. 4 bolts, or no, 1, 2, 8 bolts from what I'm seeing. 8 bolts and we'll have this baby on. So let's get going. Don't forget, good colored instructions. So if you get lost, you can look at these. Well, there you have it, guys. All the accessories put on. It looks pretty awesome. We have the armrest here, which they're pretty nice. I still wish it was the outside. Makes you sit a little better, but it works for what we need to do. And then the grab bar here, just to help people on and off. I know people are gonna want to pull on that. It ain't made for a lot of weight, but it will help you get on and off and hold people on here if they start moving like this or something. But all done. That was a great, fun project to do. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concern, please leave them down below. We get to most every one of those. If there's something you like in the video that we use, we will leave links to these down below. Some of them might be affiliate links. We get a small commission from that. We appreciate that. They're probably Amazon affiliate links. And we do appreciate the support on the channel. Also, don't forget to hit that like button down there and that bell notification so you know next time we post a video. You never know what it's going to be. We got more coming on the cart. We got a solar project coming on the trailer. That's been coming for a while. The parts have finally come in. So we have that. We have a water filter we're testing. We have more reviews on the bicycles. We got tons of stuff coming up. So again, don't forget to hit the bell notification, the like button, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. I noticed a lot of you aren't subscribed. Please just click that. Help support the channel. Let us know we're doing something good. The algorithms like it. That's what everybody says anyway. So with that being said, guys, we appreciate you watching. And until next time, try something new.